Fathergamer Podcast.
And welcome to a very special episode of the Fathergamer Podcast. We're talking about the Nintendo Switch. The presentation just went on, and this is our reactions to it. With me today, I have from SCNS, Matt. Sorry, too many M's.
We're all the same.
Yeah,
we're all alike. We're
it's
all
too many M's. Too many.
Four-letter names. First with M.
But we waited up late for this, so
we did.
Yeah, we did. This is well past our bet. Well, not really, but kind of close to our bet time.
But thank you for having me. I'm happy to do this with you guys and react to all the craziness that just went down.
Well, you and I have a certain connection. We've actually got to play a game that we're going to talk about tonight. So yeah, so we got to talk about that in just a little bit. And we have Mike, who apparently I've already introduced.
Hey guys.
So let's start off. Do y'all want to go into, I guess, the specs first? No, let's talk about the price. You want to talk about the price?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You run this ship.
I know. So we can talk about anything.
We could talk about what we were talking about before we got on the phone.
Totally talking about Bud stuff earlier, and and not the way that it sounded.
Oh no, my wife's gonna listen to this. She's just gonna think things.
If you listen to other episodes, you will definitely know what I'm talking about, because it's part of the Fathergamer drinking game. I have to talk about my health or Disney or name drop every episode.
That's so perfect.
That's
you
plastered by the end of the episode. That's the whole point. So you'll stay around. So the price point is $299 in the US.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what everyone. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people predicted. It seems to. I didn't think they were going to cross the 300 mark.
No, and I think that's fair. I think the near $300 is fair, mainly because you look at what the price is for the Xbox One S, you look at the price for the PlayStation 4 Pro, and those are 4K systems.
Yeah.
And so you look at the Nintendo Switch, and it let's be honest, it's not 4K. It's not going to be 4K.
No.
So, and as late to the game as they were, it makes sense that the opening price would be $300. You cannot cross it any more, and nobody's going to buy it any less, and you'd have too many on your hands. Well, but I think 300 is just the perfect medium.
And especially when you have this new animal of what consoles are doing, of just upgrading like cell phones, you're still going to have PS4s that are relatively cheap. You're going to have Xbox Ones that are relatively cheap. So they're having to compete against, multiple versions of these consoles now. So I think a 300 price tag, especially if you look at kind of what they're pricing the controllers for by themselves and everything, it kind of makes sense. Like they're probably barely taking a hit because it's Nintendo, but they're probably taking a hit on this one.
I think the only thing that maybe could be against it is the lack of launch titles at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 consoles that have ever been released that had decent launch titles.
Probably the 360 was probably the biggest.
360 was decent. GameCube was okay. Dreamcast in the US had a pretty good launch. But other than that, I remember it was the PS2 had the frickin' firework game. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't even remember that.
I think it was Katy Perry presents Baby You're a Firework.
That's exactly what it was. I'm a plastic bag.
Drifting in the wind.
Yes, that was the second release.
The DLC.
The DLC. So if you look at also, it comes with the Joy-Con controller, which we'll get into in a second. Which by itself, with the 2 little Joy-Con things and all that kind of stuff, and I believe the screen is $79,
which is rather cheap if you really think about it.
Well, since they announced that it's going to be able to play up to 8 of those little screens connect together.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
On a local multiplayer, yeah.
That's like having a LAN party.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
and I guess if you think about it, it's smart that they make it, I guess, a lower price than it would be like an iPad or something like that.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I mean, you think of, like, the thing is, you're going to drop it at some point or another.
Mm-hmm.
You will drop this tablet and break it, so you might as well make it cheap enough to where you can buy it again.
Exactly.
And I definitely, since I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one now. I'm going to look at all the little like accessories and that kind of stuff, and we'll talk about them on the show later. Not this episode, but when we see them. I'm really curious to see all the little like protection devices and all that kind of stuff that, always comes out with these kind of consoles. The Pro controller, which is a normal controller, typical kind of like the Xbox or the PS4, is $69. And then if you want to buy the little
that will be separate too.
Yeah, that's separate as well. And then the left-right Joy-Cons are $49. So that's kind of crazy if you think about it. I wonder if the $79 is the screen though, because $49 for just the little controllers. That seems kind of that seems like a weird price.
$79 for the screen. That's way too low for the screen. That's like cheap tablets territory.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're going to drop it eventually, so you might as well.
Yeah. Well,
it low.
It definitely makes me feel better because I was always scared to death on the Wii U that I was going to drop the controller, and I was just like, well, it's over. I'm throwing it away. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, the price for the Joy-Cons at like the $49.99, that seems really expensive. But then again, you think about everything that they can do.
I was gonna say there's a ton of stuff built into them.
Yeah, especially 1-2 switch. I mean, that alone makes you know that there's so much more that we have barely scratched the surface on for the Joy.
Well, every time something like this launches or every new console, there seems to be a new verbiage. Sort of, the new one is HD Rumble. Yes. So I'm curious to see. I kind of missed the part where they were talking about ice cubes. Did you guys see that at all?
Oh, yeah. I watched that.
It kind of cut out the video on me on that.
Yeah.
So what exactly it was saying it could sense, like, if you were playing...
you can sense in your hand if something is being added on top of something else as it's being added.
That's crazy.
Like, so wait, they were holding it... It's heavier or something?
No, the rumble. There's multiple rumble pieces in there.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Within the Joy-Con, there's at least 3 rumble packs.
Okay, so you'll feel like a rumble, like a minor one, and then it'll get heavier, like with a different rumble. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's and higher up, so you would feel like there's.
Yeah, it'll move up. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I was in the middle of watching the presentation, and then our editor in chief, Jordan, he messaged me. He was like, "Hey Matt, are you putting up that the release date and the price point article?" And I was like,
dead on.
That is spot on.
Spot on for Jordan.
I was like, yeah, I'm handling that. And so then I started working on it, and I was posting it, and all of a sudden I hear Isocube.
Isocube.
Clink, clink. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, that's. I'm really. It's a double-edged sword for me because I'm like, this looks really cool, but then again, it's motion control.
Mm-hmm.
So is this? And I think I posted on Twitter is like Revenge of the Motion Control Part 3. I mean, I'm a little nervous because I don't want a ton of motion control, and they showed a lot of games that weren't. And the fact that it has the Pro controller, unfortunately, it's an extra accessory, but the fact that you can use that makes me a little happier. Like, I mean, you could on the Wii U as well use something similar, but not all games where you were able to use it. So,
well, what I find interesting about this is, and I kind of made a little joke on Twitter too whenever they showed it off, but they really did go back throughout all of their past consoles and put in a little piece of each one into the Switch. And I thought that was really interesting because, you look at what they did. You know, the GameCube had the handle. You had the joysticks with the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
You have the same thing with everything that the Wii had. That the Joy-Cons and the strap and everything, the motion controls, and even the Wii U has a place in it because essentially you're carrying around a glorified Wii U tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that that's what they did with the Nintendo Switch because I didn't put that all together.
It's really cool that they're. It seems like there was a lot more thought into the construction and the architecture of this console than maybe the Wii U. I mean, at least on the outside perspective. I mean, honestly, what does Nintendo? Their biggest selling point is
Mobile.
Mobile, but also member berries. I mean,
I remember.
Yeah, so I mean, it's nostalgia is a big thing with Nintendo. Just look at the mini NES that came out. I mean, that thing.
Oh, that is bleeding nostalgia.
Yeah. So I mean, they know that that's the best way they can market, and saying that it has all these connections with things that you played with, for the last 20 something years. That's a really good point.
And I still don't have one.
I know you don't. So
but
also,
you'll probably get a Nintendo Switch before you get a mini NES.
Probably,
yeah. The other thing they showed off was the share button, which was really, for me, who's, I take just a few pictures when I play online. just a few.
Just a few. No, I've never seen count.
Yeah, never seen anything from you. No.
Fathergamer on Instagram. It's nice to see that, and they said it would support video at some time.
Yes.
The other thing, though, that I'd like to get into that is going to cause some controversy is the play online or pay to play online.
The pay to play, yeah. They're going to take a hit from that.
Yeah, because I know when the PS4 came out and when the PS3 they started playing using PlayStation Plus, they got a big hit for that as well. Nintendo hasn't really been known for their online infrastructure, so I'm really curious to see what they're going to show to kind of go, hey, trust us, pay the. I wonder if they're going to do something like a PlayStation Plus or Xbox does Xbox Gold, where you get free games.
Well, okay, I think I understand why they did it.
Oh, I know why they did it. They have no choice.
Well, sure, yeah. No, it's not just that though. I think you look at the fact that just look at the games. You know, that is the biggest way to figure out why they decided to make you pay to play online. Because as you can see, they're starting to incorporate a lot more third-party developers.
Yeah.
So, with that being the case, it could be also a contract thing where it's like, well, hey, you got to pay to do this. So, okay, well, we need more money. Well, might as well charge the gamers to do a monthly fee to pay online or to play online. So it makes sense to me. I mean, all the competitors
like EA does, because they have EA access for Xbox.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that, but exactly what Eric was saying with PlayStation and Xbox. They already do it, so it's not like Nintendo's doing anything different drastically. I know history is against them, but
much so.
But anything else is concerned. I mean,
I'm sure it's probably going to be cheap.
Yeah,
it costs money. It does cost money to run servers, and if they're going to push online play with stuff like Splatoon and FIFA and all that kind of stuff, it's going to cost them money. So I mean, I'm fine, but at the same time, I know a lot of people that will not be happy with it. But of course, there will be people that will not be happy with anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are those purist gamers that you'll always have. That's like, oh, it was always free. Oh, I remember when it was free and whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I just thought about that. You guys were just talking about FIFA and whatnot. They're probably renting space on other servers to do this.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So the other two big things that I talked about in previous episodes that I really wanted to know was one, battery life.
Yes.
And now we know that it's between 3 and 6 hours. I've heard
just depends on what you're doing.
No, it's 3 and 6.
Yeah, it's 3 to 6 because on the Nintendo features site, it actually shows that it's like 3 to 6, and they actually gave an example as to how, which I actually really appreciated.
That's cool.
Because it said that it's 6 hours just depending on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the official quote. Battery life can last for more than 6 hours, but will vary depending on the software and usage conditions. Mm-hmm. For example, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can be played for roughly 3 hours on a single charge.
Nice.
So, there's going to be add-on battery packs and
definitely,
and all that kind of stuff. So, and there's a million of those charge packs you can buy now too. So,
well, and what I appreciate too is the fact that the charging cord is similar to everybody else. They didn't go like the Apple route and decide that they
proprietary
crap. Their own,
that would have been terrible.
This one's just a USB 2.0, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
The other big thing, which I'm happy with their decision on this, sad a little bit, but happy as well, is the storage space. Like I was very concerned, and it's 32 gigs, which is
that's kind of low.
That's kind of low, but then you can buy it. It uses micro SD cards, pretty much the same kind that you use for the newer 3DS. And you can get really big cards for tiny prices now. So
how much did they say that it would go up to though?
I don't think did you see that anywhere? Did they have a max?
No, I didn't see that, but But here's the deal. It said that, they can easily expand the storage using the SD card. So I think that it probably can go up higher than that, like way higher.
Let's hope minimum 128, or I should say max 128 or 254, hopefully.
Shoot, I would hope for 254.
Because 254 is the new standard now.
Because I will go buy a 254 one right now and just use that.
And I'm also wondering if they'll incorporate any kind of, I guess external hard drives would be kind of impossible with the
probably so
with the tablet. So I mean, it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, cards are going to go up. I mean, there's going to be bigger cards all the time,
it is a bummer, but I think that it's a manageable one.
Yeah,
like it's not necessarily one that you have to worry too much about with something like the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, where pretty much that's the storage and that's it. You're good to go. Like you can't really do much to increase it. Versus on this one, you have the capability to do it, and it's a rather inexpensive cost.
So those were two of the biggest things that I had questions about, but I think we should probably get into the games unless y'all have something else that I'm missing.
Well, I thought what was interesting too was the screen, because I didn't know that it was going to be a multi-touch one.
I was hoping. I was desperately
I had a feeling it was, because it's made by NVIDIA.
That's true.
So
I'm glad they joined the multi-touch.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's capacitive, which means that it's no longer the textile version of the screens anymore, which is good. So
let's get into the games. I'm kind of start. Go ahead. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with probably one of the moments in the entire presentation that I felt so bad for that translator.
Oh God, that was the worst.
The No More Heroes. I felt so bad. Like I
didn't even know that that's what he was talking about. I'll be honest with you, I could not figure it out.
I had to go back and kind of look, and I knew it was Suda 51, so I was like, okay, and it's a character from No More Heroes, so I was like, and it's Nintendo, so that makes kind of sense. But I just felt bad. Like I read online somebody's like, can somebody just give that translator a hug?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was the translator or if the guy that was on the stage was just not.
Suda, I think he was mumbling on the stage.
Suda is an interesting individual. And the translator though, it's hard to translate live. Like it really is. And I have a feeling not all of the translator were Nintendo translators. I think they had to bring other people in, and because the Nintendo translators, the ones that I've seen before, they were fine. Like the guy with FIFA, he's been around forever. But so
I'll tell you, the guy who was on the president, he was the A team.
Yeah,
that guy was on point.
Absolutely. Then Xenoblade.
Oh.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That was an interesting one. Like
Yes.
that is a gorgeous looking game so far.
Yeah, oh yeah. I loved looking at that video. The cell shading on that was really cool.
Yeah,
But my biggest complaint, we didn't have a release date.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it's probably like fall or next year.
Holiday.
Yeah, it because there was a lot of these games we didn't get any kind of date.
Mhm.
So there's an unknown Square game. Well, it's not unknown anymore. It's Project Octopath, which is that like 8-bit one they were showing off.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys show that
RPG game.
Yeah, that one looked.
Yeah.
I'm interested about that, especially like if I was going to just play that on my console, I would be a little like it's awesome. I like to play that kind of stuff, but I really love to play those games mobile, and so that's what I'm hoping I see a lot more of too. Is stuff that some things are more mobile and some things are more console based, and sometimes it just doesn't work to do both. So I'm curious to see that. FIFA we saw.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be Madden, but I'll take FIFA. That's fine.
I would assume Madden. If FIFA's coming, I would assume, but I don't. No, I mean,
Well, I would think that that's probably going to be next year. Probably not even like Madden 18. It'll probably like Madden 19 or something like that.
Just in case no one knows, Matt is a huge Madden fan.
no, you're
I
lying.
am.
It's totally not.
I know. I've never played in my life. So.
I think that's one of the games that you played 3 times last E3. Like you went back.
Nice.
Honestly, I was trying to get a hat.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Because they were giving out these hats, and a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, can you get me a hat? Like that would be cool." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go try." And I went back like 4 times just to see if I could get another hat.
Did you ever get any more hats?
No, I just got the 2, the one that you gave me, and I gave that to my dad, and he said thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem. I didn't really give a title. It barely showed anything.
Well, it was.
I don't think it showed any video at all for that.
It didn't. It was just a big like. It was just CGI. It's a Fire Emblem Warriors.
Oh
So
God.
Kind of makes me feel like it's gonna be like a.
It's gonna be a Hyrule Warriors,
deal,
yeah.
Hyrule Warriors.
I like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be one of those.
Well, I think that's okay for it though, because Dynasty Warriors has become not a brand, but more of a format, a gameplay
genre almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a genre now. So Hyrule Warriors did really well. So why not do Fire Emblem Warriors? And then eventually you'll do Mario Warriors.
Oh God,
that would be kind of cool actually.
Fire Emblem Warrior. Fire Emblem actually does sound kind of cool in that format. So
it does,
I will admit. The next one is the game that they said, oh, we don't know, but whatever, Skyrim.
Oh my God, yeah, come on. Like I'm looking on Twitter and everybody's like, oh my God, Skyrim's on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, did you not watch the initial video? Like, really?
From a long time
forget
ago?
about October?
They did come out though and say when it first showed, but that's just like I didn't know.
We don't know anything about this.
Yeah, but please.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like I've seen more NFL coaches do more coach speak than what these guys did. Like that was ridiculous. They're like, "Oh, I've never seen that in my life. Oh, we haven't announced that." That doesn't mean it's not true.
It's Nintendo. They don't really ever they don't generally they barely show stuff as it is. So it's not
funny.
Yeah. But the next one is Dragon Quest 10, 11, and
12,
Heroes.
13.
Well, no, specifically 10 and 11 I think were Japanese releases only.
But they'll come over here. They will.
And then the other one, whatever, I forget what the other one was called.
It's
was the one for everybody.
Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2.
There we go.
Hey,
Okay.
before we keep going on, that actually reminds me of something that we didn't talk about before.
Sure.
The fact that there's no region locking.
Yes,
yes.
thank you.
Thank you. So I'll be able to play Dragon Quest 10 and 11 and curse
True.
the fact that I only know
A little bit of the Japanese.
Japanese. So
Well, and now we can play that Atlas game that none of us knew what the hell was going on.
yeah, there's probably quite a few. Actually, that's a really great thing, and I'm hoping that the share feature won't be region locked either, because sometimes
It
there's
probably
issues with
won't.
that. So we could do some great import streaming on crazy stuff. Hopefully,
You're talking about the Atlas game. I literally thought that it was another part of the Xenoblade video.
Yeah, I did too.
I was
did
like,
too.
oh, it says Atlas at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, they jumped though, and it was so weird. But yeah, so no region locking. That's really cool because you're right. There's a lot of games that were only released in Japan that a lot of us Westerners or we never really got to experience. And the fact that we can do that now is really cool.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see it kind of go back to that. Plus, it's just we'll get to play some great, crazy stuff that you normally wouldn't get to play. So I'm excited about that. The next game is ARMS.
You mean the video game?
I want to play that game, honestly.
You're good. I'll let you play it.
Okay, so at that point, my wife came into the room when I was watching that, and she was like, "Okay, honey, I'm about to go to bed." I was like, "Okay, yeah, good night. Oh, hey, do you want to play this game?" As she sees it, she goes, "Nah, I'm good." Looking right back out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain group, I'm sure. I know is a hardcore gamer. I'm making quotation marks right now, by the way. As a hardcore gamer, I'm done with motion if I can. I play video games to be lazy. I don't like. I don't want to jump around. So
crisscross to make you want to jump.
So I don't know. Like, I'll give it a chance, but I can't see me playing it for more than 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that, man.
It doesn't quite have that Wii bowling. Like, that's like one of the only motion games.
Give me Switch bowling.
Yeah, like that's one of the only motion things that I've ever just like, okay, I'm gonna keep playing this like all night. Like it's.
Did you wear that carpal tunnel wrist thing?
Oh yeah, I did the ball warmer, the ball thing, just like in
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
It's late. It is late.
It is. No, but yeah, I completely agree with you that this is probably a game that I'm most likely not going to even look at. But I think that this is one of those that isn't really for the. Well, we can call ourselves hardcore gamer. I don't think it's for the normal gamer. I would say. I think that game is for esports gamers. I think that's what that's going to end up trying to be.
For the ARMS game?
Yeah. Like I think it might go with Splatoon and all the other.
Yeah.
I think ARMS might be more of a one-on-one combat thing that might be just fun to do for a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious though to see. I'd love to see some statistics, something about in Japan how well. I know here motion games were hit or miss. I wonder if they did better in Japan. Because I
suspect they did.
Because you can tell with this. I mean, this presentation was in Japan. There was a lot of games that were geared towards the Japanese audience. I mean, there was a lot of JRPG love in this presentation, which made me extremely happy. But it was very very Japanese centric on a lot of stuff, and I'm really curious to see if motion was a big deal over there or if it's the same.
Considering that they're still making that now for like Nintendo is still going that route, I have a feeling it is.
Well, but you have to admit, Nintendo is also one of those one of those companies that they kind of do whatever they want. Like
it's living and breathing.
Also PlayStation.
Well, over 100 years old. So, well, yeah, but to a different degree. It is. They are different animals completely. They're living.
Because they're still using the motion captures on the PlayStations with the VR now.
Speaking of esports, you mentioned Splatoon 2. I love Splatoon. Like, Splatoon is one of my favorite games on the Wii U.
Never got to play it, but I really want to.
It's really fun, customizable. It gears towards different play styles. It's a really fun game and now series. I'm really excited to see it. And I know when they did the presentation in October, they were showing it off as kind of an esports kind of game as well. So I'm hoping to see something in the next coming days about their online infrastructure and to see how that's laid out. And hopefully it's a lot better with friends and that kind of stuff to kind of make that grow. Because I think Splatoon could be one of those games that would be a very good esports
Mm-hmm.
title.
Like,
So.
you talk about how people are going to be upset whenever they have to pay to play online.
Mhm.
The Splatoon players are
Yeah.
going to be mostly
They will
upset
definitely.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah, absolutely.
But I think Splatoon 2 looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look like they changed too much outside
Probably
of
not.
scenery, and except for what that I don't think he's an actual scientist. You know,
No.
showing off those guns and posing.
Pretty sure he wasn't.
Splatoon.
Also, the 2 on Splatoon 2 is incredibly phallic. I just want to point that out there.
The what is?
It's
The
phallic.
Splatoon 2, like, no, look at it. I'm telling you, look at the 2.
Okay, now I have to look.
Oh.
It's incredibly phallic, and I saw somebody said that it was coming in this song.
Oh God! You're right. Oh, that poor squid.
Yeah,
Oh no, I never saw that.
now you can't unsee it.
Now I cannot unsee that. They totally mushroom capped that.
Well, it is Nintendo.
Oh, they did. Yeah, it is Nintendo.
So
Poor squid.
that's a very unfortunate design.
I'm looking
there.
at it now.
So, of course, probably the oldest one in this group, it was the most immature and saw it automatically.
Yeah. Although now I look at the squid behind because I'm looking at the 1 minute 36 second mark on the actual trailer, and I see the logo on the top left, and then behind it is a very happy squid.
I'm
And
sure
like,
he is.
Dude, and he's looking in the direction of the number 2, and I'm like, I think it knows. Like, I think he's looking at it like, at least I'm not the penis.
They need to totally embrace it for the marketing. Look, it's happened. It's already out. Embrace it. Not it, but you know what I mean.
So this could open up like a whole different other conversation for a whole other day. But there was one time I was in a car with a couple buddies of mine. We were driving to Colorado. Okay, the story's not going there. But so we were going to Colorado for a buddy of ours' wedding, and I posed a question: if you could live in one video game city, society, world, whatever it may be, what would it be? And I'm looking at the Splatoon 2 one, and I'm seeing everything being like this squid world, and I'm like, God, that must be hell to live in a squid world.
And not be a squid. So
And not be a squid, and then like just all the time people are vandalizing this place, and it's like I feel like I couldn't own a home. Like I would constantly be pissed off. Like I'd have to invest in a pressure washer, and I would eventually become Clint Eastwood, and I'd just be
Get
like,
off my lawn.
"Get off my lawn!"
sitting on your lawn chair with a water hose.
Yes.
Spraying. That would be, that needs to be a whole different. That's DLC right there.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. Matt's pressure washing DLC in Splatoon 2.
Young squids, get off my lawn.
Absolutely. So, moving on, since again this is late. The big surprise with me, like I knew there was a Mario game coming. Like I knew that was there, but I did not foresee this. Like I was blown away for. So Grand Theft Mario, pretty much, is what it kind of looked like.
Yeah, essentially.
Have you seen Katie's post on Twitter with that?
No,
She did. She posted one.
I'll have to look. But I don't know. I thought it was amazing looking, just kind of seeing Mario run around in a fairly realistic world.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
And the gameplay looks like a really refined 64. Like Mario 64,
Yeah,
is what it looked like to me. So, are you a big Mario person, Matt?
I'm a big Mario guy. I love Mario, and I gotta say that I feel like my life is complete looking at Super Mario Odyssey, because whenever I go back and I look at all the other previous Mario games, I mean, the things that I felt were missing were realism, Mario being able to throw his hat, and Bowser in a pimp suit.
Absolutely.
So now I feel like my life and my world is complete because I'm getting all of that in Super Mario Odyssey.
Yep, I'm waiting for Gun. like guns would like totally throw him.
Just how weird is it that he's in the real world? Like, I don't. It's just so weird to me. It's not necessarily the real world, but it's essentially the real world.
It is, yeah.
And the throwing of your hat, and why is the hat alive? I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna
go, I was kind of curious about that too.
My hat is not really alive. Like, if my Texans hat was alive, it would be like, kill me. So I don't know why that's a thing. That's so weird.
It smells like mushroom caps.
But I do think it looks cool. I think it looks beautiful. It almost reminds me of, I guess, kind of a more refined Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. Which I loved Galaxy. So, the little planets and everything were pretty. Yeah. I absolutely loved Galaxy. The next game on our list is, I'm going to save the best for last.
Yeah.
They did. A couple of these weren't actually at the presentation, but they announced them shortly after. Minecraft is coming to.
Nice.
Which
How does that work?
I know the whole Microsoft thing. It's if you looked at the last release of Minecraft on the Wii U, though, it was completely Nintendo-fied. And this is after.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it'll just be a port of that. But
I'm just wondering, how does that work mobile?
They have a Minecraft on cell phones.
Yeah, but this one will be closer to the real Minecraft.
Well, yeah.
The one on cell phone is like it's okay, but this, I don't know. That might actually be really fun if you could get the 8 people sitting around and playing Minecraft.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
So, and then the other big one for multiplayer is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which and that's coming out in April.
Nice.
Yeah, I was actually a little disappointed that it wasn't a launch title, but I like the fact that it's not very far.
I was gonna say it's only a month later, so yeah. That's awesome.
And we're gonna have.
It looks like they've added a lot more like competitive modes.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks amazing.
Why are they calling it Deluxe though?
Because it's all the DLC because this is the one that was on the Wii U. It's just all the DLC, which there was quite a bit of DLC.
So it's just a port. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. But
that's cool.
Honestly, with playing multiplayer with people that have the Switch and all that kind of stuff, just sounds like it. That is something I want to try out. Maybe.
That would be freaking awesome. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what E3 is going to look like. Like everyone
just sets tables set up and playing.
I don't even know like if they would even be able to put Switches out because everybody might be already having it out.
Like I could just see when we were waiting to see the next game we're going to talk about, that huge crowd we waited in at E3 to play. I just see everyone just sitting down because there was a lot of DSs last year, and I just see everybody just playing freaking Switch. That might be fun. Yeah, it'd probably break everybody's thing too, though.
Most likely, yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna have some kind of spot pass. I'm really curious about that.
Ooh.
I think that would be interesting, and I think that would be cool. A good idea for Nintendo to think about doing.
Well, they're listening, obviously.
Write it down, Nintendo, right now.
Yeah. So, in the last game I'm going to bring up, because this was their definitive mic drop at this,
which I did not expect. Like,
why did they drop me?
We're gonna end this presentation off with FIFA. I'm like, what?
What they kept? They went from Nintendo Europe. At the very end, then they went to Nintendo of America, and I was like, "Oh God, they're not going to show Zelda for some flippin' reason." And they're like, well, "We're going to have playable stuff tomorrow for the press," and I'm like, "Oh God, no, don't end this without Zelda." And boom, there's Zelda. So
can we just talk about Reggie for a second? That saucy fox coming in here at the last minute and just being like, "Hey, what's up, guys? We've got all these amazing things happening. Oh, how weird! Somebody's playing." Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild behind me. Oh, look at you guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what the release date is? I don't know release date. Do you know what the release date is? I don't know the release date. Oh, let's just send it back to the president where we already were at.
Yeah.
And I don't think he knew the release date.
And then of course we had to get the thumbs up, thumbs down thing, which apparently that's like Miyamoto's shtick now. Like it's just it's pretty much like an undecisive Fonzie now.
Either
So-
or he watches a lot of wrestling and he's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Batista, and so Batista.
I could totally see Miyamoto doing that when he's not gardening or making games. He's freaking watching wrestling. So
Miyamoto.
yeah, he was on the presentation. He was the one that did the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. Okay.
Never mind. I think it's something else. Sorry, my bad.
That's fine. It is. But so Breath of the Wild looks amazing. We got to play it at E3, the demo, but there's a lot that was not in the demo. And kind of figured.
Yeah, and I mean, look at what we did in the demo.
Yeah,
like what we saw was like a quarter, and I don't mean like a quarter as in like a fourth of the entire map. Like I mean like we played a literal quarter, like the coin size of the map. Like that thing is huge. It's massive.
Nice.
And what I love about this trailer is that the previous ones that we saw really showed off the environment and the move set and everything that was new about it. What this one showed was the emotion, was the story, was the characters that we have in it. And it feels more complete.
Absolutely.
Like compared to the other games that we've ever played, this feels cohesive. This feels like it's an emotional story that's really going to affect you. That's going to be like one of those that it's going to be an experience.
And that's one of the key things walking away from this, moving 3 feet away from this presentation was there seemed to be a lot of story-driven stuff they were showing in general. And that's something that I felt like was sorely missed on the Wii U. Like I didn't feel invested in almost any Wii U title, with the exception of like Xenoblade and a few other things. I just did not connect like I did with something like if you look at the PS3 library or even the Xbox library, because they're from about the same times from when the Wii U came out. There was like a lot of games that just we're passionate about, and I just can't sit here and think about I can't think of very many games except for maybe Splatoon and Xenoblade
and neither of those are really story driven, except for Xenoblade would, but like Splatoon isn't. Splatoon's mostly multiplayer.
So they definitely showed off what I wanted to see for the most part. There's a few things I'm still curious about that hopefully in the next coming days they'll show off more. Definitely, I'm really curious about the online play.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious what the reaction's going to be mostly. But I have to say, like, I love the fact that Legend of Zelda is the launch title. Because you were hearing rumors previously that it was going to be pushed back. And I'm so thankful for this presentation because I was sick of all the rumors. There were so many rumors. There were so many like bogus stories out there. And now we have clarity. And I love it. So yeah, Legend of Zelda is going to be a launch title. And honestly, I said earlier that I was a little disappointed in the amount of launch titles. But really, let's be honest. That's the only launch title that we really need.
That we really need right now, yeah.
I mean, honestly, for most people, it's going to be that and probably it for most of the year because that's the game they wanted. So, I mean, it's nice. And there seems to be, with Mario Kart and a few other things, some games I'm really excited to play. So the first year, or at least the first 6 months, won't be terrible. Right. I just don't feel like they'll be that terrible, but I'm sure there'll be dry spells because it is a launch title. I mean, it is a launch game. Console. Sorry. God, it's late.
Well, I think it just depends on how they do it at Nintendo. Yeah. Like, can they keep the momentum rolling?
Exactly.
You're gonna have a lot of it with Legend of Zelda, and I cannot imagine that the reviews are gonna be bad on that game. So you're gonna have that. Can you capitalize on it? Will Super Mario Odyssey be the next one? Will Xenoblade keep it up? I mean, but that's more of an obscure title. Can you keep coming up with games and storyline games that are going to keep the audience playing and make Nintendo's console game relevant?
Right. Yeah, they definitely need to figure out what their hook is for this generation because, like we said earlier, it's changing. Generations are changing. The fact that that consoles are becoming more, almost like cell phones as far as the upgrades. So I'm really curious to see how that goes. So hey guys, thank you for recording with me. We're staying up late, and let's go around the virtual table right quick and say all of our stuff for our various sites and all that kind of stuff. Let's start with you, Matt.
Sure, yeah. You can find me at Move the Joystick, and you can find me on SCNS Live, which we don't really say the live anymore, so it's just SCNS, because I think the live is now implied. And you can find that every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on youtube.com/SCNS Live and on Cinelinks.com. You can also find me every other Saturday live at about like 9 or 10 a.m. because we haven't really solidified a time for Nerd Interference, which is your nerd sports show, which mostly is just sports, but we're nerds, so that's what makes it a nerd sports show. And you can also
it's implied as well.
It is. And then you can also find any of my works on Cinelinks.com, Cinelinks.com for your news, reviews, editorials, and more. Keep it on Cinelinks.com.
And then, Mike, where can they find you? Except for, of course, on the Fathergamer podcast. But
yeah, obviously Fathergamer podcast at Silverhawks, no vowels, SLVRHWKS on most medias.
Hey guys, you can find me at Fathergamer on Twitter, Instagram. I will not post very many pictures of video game characters at all. Also, check out our upcoming shows. We've got some stuff focused in on vaporware, like with the whole Spellbound thing, and a few other great shows that are coming up. So, guys, thank you for listening. Again, you can catch us at Cinelinks.com, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn,
Libsyn.
Pornhub. Like, you can find us everywhere. So
I didn't know your pictures got put up there.
Yeah,
I leaked them, but I didn't know that they were going to put them up.
There's actually a streamer that got his streaming up on Pornhub somehow. Like, he was playing some game.
No way.
Yeah. So
that's golly, that's like that Alexa thing.
Yeah.
Where Pornhub, looking up Pornhub.
So guys, thank you for listening. We're not on Pornhub yet, so.
Oh, thank God.
And
I don't have to pay a subscription to listen to you guys.
Yeah, no, everyone needs to pay a subscription. I promise I'll start doing it naked if you all pay a subscription. So guys,
I'd pay a subscription then.
So guys, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say thank you for having me, man.
No problem, man. It's a blast to have you, and hopefully we can have you on some more. So, thank you guys, absolutely. And as always, achieve greatness.